Alright, y'all. So, we're live on YouTube. Nobody has shown up yet on the Zoom meeting, so we're just gonna go ahead and do this. So, if nobody shows up, we're just gonna make this a live stream. Because, that's kind of, well, we're gonna live stream anyways, but yeah, that's kind of how we're gonna do this. So, yeah. Alright, so we're gonna get started in 5 minutes or so. Hello, Michael. Michael? Michael?
Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. My apologies about my microwave. I'm finally eating food after 3 days.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, none of our RSVPs have showed up yet.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue on as normal. We'll just do a live stream if nobody else shows up.
Okay. I might be muted a lot of this, but I will be here.
No, it's fine. Again, sorry folks, we're just getting some things straightened out. I'm gonna be hosting this event by myself today, so you just have to deal with me. I'm sorry. That's just gonna have to be how it is. Because Michael's not feeling well and Lauren's internet took a dump. So, y'all have to deal with me. I know. So sad. But I just put the live stream, and yeah, feel free to chat us as well. But yeah, I just put the live stream in the programming for everyone. But we'll wait a little bit and see if anybody else shows up. I see we've got one person watching. It's probably myself. All right. Whoops. I just cut off a chat message. Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay, so we've got a chat question about Microsoft Store. Unfortunately, that is kind of off topic. Maybe we can address that later. But unfortunately, that is a little bit off topic for this meeting. But we could maybe address that later in another stream. Because I want to try to keep this somewhat on topic. Okay. Anybody in the waiting room? No. All right. So, nobody's in the waiting room. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, you didn't know. Yep. Okay. Yeah, but again, feel free to stick around though. Stick around because we're gonna be talking about WebStorm and coding. So feel free to stick around. But yeah, maybe we can address that at some other point, or maybe on a Taylor's Tech Talk stream. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. For those who are just joining us, if you want to say hi in chat, feel free. We're doing the Accessible Coders Codecademy chapter meeting for August, whatever the date is today, 27th. And we're streaming on YouTube as well as people are in the Zoom meeting. So if you want to be a part of that and you want to join the chapter so you can get the Zoom invites, I will put the link in the description. But basically, we meet every month, and it's a Codecademy chapter, Codecademy community chapter. So if you want to join, I will put the link in the chat. But yeah. Okay. All right, so yeah, if you're here, say hi in chat. Let's see, what time is it? It is it's 2 p.m. I'm gonna give people till 2:05, and we have a participant. Hello, Robbie. Hello, Robbie. Welcome to the Accessible Coders room. Okay. So, any more participants? Well, that is awesome. Yeah, well, feel free. All of our meetings are about coding. We just got a chat message. But yeah, all of our meetings are about coding. So feel free. Join. Yeah, let me put the link so that y'all can be a part of it. All right, it's 2. But yeah, I'm going to give people till 2:05, and then we're going to go ahead and get started just because we've got a lot to talk about today. So, but yeah, if you're in the Zoom meeting, feel free to say hi to everyone on YouTube and on the whoever watching this later. All right. So, and feel free to like this video and subscribe. Techopolis is the YouTube channel, and that is where we're going to be streaming a lot of these meetings. So, let's go ahead and get cool. That sounds good. Info, yeah, that sounds good. Well, hopefully you learn a lot today in the meeting. So, all right. Yeah, so we're just getting some chat messages, guys, because, yeah, we've got it on YouTube and we have it in the Zoom. So, all right. So, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. Yep. All right, so what we're going to be doing today, just so everyone knows, is we're going to be talking about WebStorm, and we're going to be talking about it because it has all the rage these days. So we're going to kind of talk about what it is, what it does, and I'm also going to provide a demo as well. So that is going to be kind of our plan, and of course, we're going to have Q&A time, of course. So if you have any coding questions at all, feel free to stick around till the end when we do our coding Q&A time. So maybe you're not interested in this topic particularly, but we also have our Q&A. So if you are interested in that, stick around till after the presentation. If who? Hold on. Let me check the chat. Well, anyone can join if they have the, wonder if, hold on. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that message was about. If you wouldn't mind, clarifying. Alright. So, let's, alright, it's 2:04. Yep, let's just, because it doesn't look like we're getting any more people. And again, if people join throughout the meeting, we'll just invite them in. But, we'll kind of handle it that way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started. Let me record. So we are recording and streaming. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the August meeting of Accessible Coders. So, I am by myself today, y'all. I am flying solo. Michael isn't feeling well, so he's here, but he is not going to be hosting, and Lauren's internet took an absolute dump. So, it looks like y'all are stuck with me today. It's me today. It's just me, myself, and I hosting the meeting. So, that's what y'all have to deal with today, is just me. So, I know that's really, really unfortunate, but you know what? You're gonna have fun, and I'm gonna have fun, and everyone's gonna have fun. We have a couple people in our Zoom audience, our Zoom meeting. We've got Robbie. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, feel free to unmute, and if not, that's okay. I just wanted to give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves if they would like. Okay. And then we also have Michael, our another, like I said, the other host who isn't feeling very well, but he is at least in the Zoom meeting. I hear somebody's background, but I don't think I hear them speaking. So, yeah. So, those are who is in the Zoom audience. And we also have people in our chat on YouTube. So we've got Bled, believe that's their username. And we've got a couple other people that are in the YouTube chat. So this is going to be a pretty fun meeting today. We're going to be doing some demos and some screen sharing. And yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about some chapter stuff first. So we're going to try to do these chapter meetings the second Saturday of the month. We couldn't do it this second Saturday because I had to move apartments. So that's why it moved to the fourth Saturday of the month. So normally we're going to try to do these every second Saturday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central. And we're going to stream them to YouTube as well as to, to join the Zoom meeting. So if you are in the YouTube chat and you want to join us in the future, I will put the link to the Accessible Coders Codecademy chapter where you can RSVP for events and you can join the Zoom meetings. So that's going to be how that works. Basically, you'll just fill out a profile. It's free, and you could be part of the community. We also have our Discord. So if you're not part of the Programming for Everyone Discord, you should be a part of that. Because if you want to talk about coding and whatnot, that is a good place to start to learn to code, is our Programming for Everyone Discord. We've got about 50 to 60 people on there, and it's pretty awesome. As well as all of that, if you're wanting to learn to code, Taylor's Tech Talks, which is my personal brand, I have a post on programming resources to learn to code. So if you're just beginning to learn to code, I've got a blog post talking all about that. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in the chat, but those are just some resources that I wanted to talk about, and I just wanted to give a quick chapter update. So do I have any questions from either the YouTube chat or the Zoom audience? And if I do, you can feel free to unmute yourself or put them in the chat box if you're on YouTube. Okay. So obviously YouTube chat's a little bit delayed, so that's just going to be kind of how that goes. But let me go ahead and put some links in the description. me go ahead and put some links in the description. And then, yeah, we'll just going to wait for YouTube to catch up. And I don't have any speech on my computer. Wonderful. That's fun. Okay. Let me restart my NVDA. Yeah, I don't have any speech, which is just absolutely awesome. So, anyways. That's just a little bit of a rant. Okay. So, assuming I can get my sound back, I will put these in chat. There we go. Alright, so, let me put that in there, and now that I got my speech back. And in the meantime, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about a popular product that's been really gaining attention called WebStorm. And it's an IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, whereby you can do the whole process from running, debugging, testing, and all that sorts of from an interface in, from an interface in the WebStorm editor. And so we're going to talk about it today. Is it a viable option for people with disabilities, or is it just one of those editors that we'd like to use, but we can't? So we're going to be talking about that today. I'm going to be doing some demos. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and talk about kind of some findings I've found with WebStorm. So once I get my, I'm having some slight technical difficulties today. But let us, I don't think my internet's working that great. All right. All right. Yeah, my internet is being really slow. So, this shall be fun. So, let me actually pull up WebStorm. And I'm going to pull it up on my Mac. And I just want to kind of show you what it looks like. I am going to be sharing my screen. And I am going to be sharing my voiceover. So, if y'all put stuff in chat, just be aware that it will be read out aloud for everyone. So, if we could keep that civil, that would be good. But what I'm going to show you is actually what WebStorm looks like and kind of what it can do and kind of the accessibility pitfalls. So let's go ahead and open up WebStorm, and we're going to do a live demo. So, but before I do my demo, do I have any questions before I get started with this screen share? Let's see.
You have started screen share.
Alright, so I'm screen sharing, and what we're going to do is I'm going to open up WebStorm. Now, before I open up WebStorm, I want to talk about the setup process. So, I downloaded the DMG or whatever installer package for Mac from the website, the JetBrains website. It was a pretty easy process. Obviously, this is a 30-day free trial of WebStorm, because then you'd have to pay per year. But I downloaded the trial, I did all that, and then when I went through the setup wizard, I had an interesting question being presented.
I'll ask my questions in the Q&A.
Are you using a screen reader? Well, okay. I've used other products like this before, and I've never seen that question, so I'm like, I had a lot of hope for it. Unfortunately, as y'all soon to realize, yeah, okay, it seemed pretty accessible. The UI was accessible, but project creation was fine, sort of, but I couldn't edit any of my code. So let's go ahead and explore it together, and I'll show you what I mean. So, I'm going to go to WebStorm. All right. Open it. And I get a little dialogue. Let me go ahead and close the Finder window. And that's my desktop. So this dialogue, it just kind of sits there. It's not that accessible. I actually can't read any of it. But let me go ahead and try to do a VO Shift L. Okay, so this is the JetBrains logo. So that is an image description command in VoiceOver, where I can literally see how, see what's being displayed on the screen. So it's still loading. It takes a while to load. That's another thing too, is that it's kind of slow. But we're loaded now. And let's see what I have now. Let me see. It's busy. Oh, wonderful. So again, it takes a while to initialize as well. I don't know why, if that's just a maxing. Oh. Okay, so then I get put into a tip window. Okay, but I literally just get thrown into it. So, let me figure out how to get out of this. So it says code with me, iOS, blah, 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 blah. So for simplicity's sake, let's go ahead and create a new project. And I'm going to show you the problems that I faced. And if you're JetBrains and you find this video for some reason, take notes on this, because we want to use this editor. It's gaining all the rage these days, right? Because it's an awesome, thing. And a lot of people are starting to, unfortunately, switch from Visual Studio Code to this.
I feel
But-
like
sorry,
it's
Michael.
a typical. Their IDEs always start slow. Like Android Studio starts slow. A lot of those.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to cut you off. You kind of scared the living daylights out of me. Can you hear me, Michael? Oh. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, that is typical, right? A lot of these IDEs start very slow. So, I'm going to create a new project. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to press... Let's see. Nope. Hold on. So, I can create a new file by pressing Command-Shift-N. But I want to create a new project. So let me go ahead and do that. If I can. Nothing here. Okay. So I'm going to have to go to the File menu. Project. There's no keyboard command associated with that, which I wish there was, because, that would make sense, right? There's a new keyboard shortcut for the new file. Why isn't there one for new project? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? I don't know. If you ask me, what do y'all think about that? I mean, I personally think that, there should be a keyboard shortcut, because new projects are something pretty common that people are going to have to do, right? So that's just kind of what I think. But what do y'all think in chat or in general? If you're in the Zoom meeting, feel free to, give your opinion. But I personally think that there should be a keyboard shortcut. Yeah. So I'm going to select a project. Scroll area, I'm going to interact. Oops. Create. Okay, but I can't see what type of project it is. So I'm going to go back. Empty project. And all I'm doing is interacting and pressing right arrow. Or not. Or down arrow. Or, sorry, VO right arrow. We're just going to create an HTML5 boilerplate because that's simple. Press that and okay, so I just created it. And the only other problem I saw is that I couldn't rename my project accessibly. So now I have an untitled project 2, which is not very helpful. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open it up in this same window. Okay. And WebStorm is busy again. Okay. So it's initializing. Project structure tree. Okay, this is different than what I had before. They probably had an update since I last played with this. Okay, so external library, scratches, and consoles. Okay. Whoa, what is all this? Ah. So I was navigating through the file tree, which is further than I've ever gotten before. But you notice my focus just got thrown back all the way to the beginning when I heard index.html. So I wasn't actually able to see all of the different aspects of the project. So let's try this again. Wow. all I did there is I had to press down arrow instead of, going through the list right with VO. So this is actually the furthest I've ever gotten. So when I tried this before, sorry, voiceover is being a nightmare. When I tried this before, I actually was never able to get into the code. So this is a whole different experience. I don't know, I think they just had an update because I was not able to do this at all before. But here I am in an index.html file. So let's go ahead and explore it. Okay. All right, header, meta, title, description of meta. Okay. This is a lot of HTML boilerplate, I must say. Holy moly. I mean, this is more than VS Code gives out, right? This is not your basic HTML template. Like, holy moly. Wow. Huh. This... Okay. So this is, sorry guys, the Discord message. This is what happens when you go live in VoiceOver. This is a lot of boilerplate code. This is a lot of boilerplate code. And I'm sure for beginners, you're going to be like, what does this do? So, I'm able to read the code at least, which is helpful, right? I'm able to actually interact with it, which is a good start. Okay. Oh, so it even has Google Analytics tracking code in here? So this is a lot of HTML boilerplate, if you ask me. Again, it has a lot more than any other template I've seen. And the experience seems to be okay to navigate, right? The code reads fine. It seems to be okay. Wow. That is a lot of code. I mean, some of that, I didn't even know what it meant, if you ask me. Now, let's see if we can actually run it. Again, this is actually further than I've ever gotten in any of my tests before. So I want to see if I can actually run it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Everyone is moving in upstairs in the apartment complex because it's a college apartment complex. So you're going to hear a lot of noises. And again, I apologize. I have no control. It's basically chaos day around here. So that's just how it's going to have to be. So, sure, I want to run index.html. Oh. Whoa. Okay, then. What's this about?
So is the boilerplate used for tracking? Like how Google and YouTube uses it for the algorithm?
Yes, it could be used for tracking, but basically this is a boilerplate HTML template. So, Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, has like a doc type declaration. And this is what that provides, but it also provides extra doc type information for Google Analytics tracking, right? So, you're kind of on the right track. Untitled. Okay. But why did this open up in Chrome, I wonder? Let me see. So I was able to run it. Wait. Okay, so apparently I have to do some trusting nonsense. So that dialogue was a little bit funky to navigate, but I was able to do it, right? I was just able to select, yes, I want to authorize it. Now I got to copy this URL into my browser, apparently. Look at that, y'all. We just got an HTML5 page to run. See that? Okay, so that's great. We're making some progress, right? We've got an HTML5 page to run. Let's see if we can actually add code, right? It's one thing to actually read code. That's a great part. But can I actually add code? Let's see. Wait, what? Okay. So now I gotta figure out how to get back to my code because right now I'm in nowhere land. And I was able to do that by pressing Shift-Tab twice. So, let's see if I can actually add some code. But what do y'all think about this editor so far?
I think it opened a Chrome window because it had something that's connected to Google.
Yes.
I remember you saying something about Google.
Yes, it did open up a Chrome window. Yep, because... Now, let me go all the way back up here. All right, so I'm able to at least navigate the code, but let's see if I can add a heading, for example. So let's see how the autocomplete reads, right? Because it's one thing to have the code, but I need to be able to autocomplete because I don't want to type in all that stuff, do I? That's a nightmare. So let's see if I can do that. So, oh, okay. And I'm getting a call that I'm not going to answer. Okay. So, interesting. So, basically, the autocomplete suggestions show up, but they're not accessible to VoiceOver. Right? They're not accessible to VoiceOver because let me show you this again. So, header. Dialogue. So let me see if I can interact with this. Oh. Okay, well, I lied. So it is sort of accessible. You just have to interact with it and then select the item. Space, space. Okay, so it's indenting for me. I like how it reads that. That's a nice feature. Okay. So let's see if I can add a heading. So less H. Whoops. And I don't know why it reads those HTTPS:// blah 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 things. I'm not sure why it does that. But so I just wrote a heading that said Taylor's test, and I made that an H1. So let's see if I can run this again. Let me save my changes. Command S.
Asava warped claw, so here is where all of you are hiding.
Yes, this is where we're hiding. And by the way, that got read out to the whole public. But yeah, yep, we're hiding over here. We're doing our monthly Codecademy meetup. Ask Jeff. All right. So all I had to do was hit refresh, and now I have a heading that says Taylor's test. So that was a pretty cool process. I mean, yeah, all I literally had to do was just hit refresh, and then I was able to get the heading. So, that is how that worked. Now, what do y'all think about this so far? Do I have any, thoughts? What, anybody in the Zoom room or the YouTube, what do y'all think about this? Would you use it? What do you think? Or even in the chat, what are your thoughts about this? Me personally, why are there so many JavaScript files for just a plain HTML template? I wonder if this is going to be like a PWA, a progressive web app or something. But still, why are there so many, files for a simple project? Right? That's kind of my first question. But again, they've made a lot of strides. I've tried to use IntelliJ a couple years ago for one of my school projects, and it was completely inaccessible. So they have made a lot of strides, which I do give them credit, JetBrains. But I think there's still work to be done. But
Yeah. So
I don't RLLY understand this kind of stuff, but this app is kind of sketchy.
my thoughts is it's very much like Android Studio. It's very much like PyCharm. It's let's take our IDE.
I feel
our
like it's
generic
used for something more sinister.
I feel like it's a typical IDE, but just with web stuff on top.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, again, I think it's overall. It's usable to a degree, right? But do I think it's going to replace VS Code? No. I don't know. Right? But at least I've been able to show you kind of how inaccessible or accessible it is. Right? At least you've been able to kind of get an idea of how accessible or inaccessible the IDE is. Right? Based on what we've done so far. So, let me see here. I think that's really, like I said, it showed you creating a project, running it, writing code. That's really, I'm not going to really go into all the other types of projects, right? Because there's a lot of different things. But it's kind of the same procedure, right? For different things. But, yeah. That's kind of actually, let me see if I can do some error debugging, right? Because that's important.
Actually, I was wondering if you could tell folks about what kind of projects that they would have. Like, can you instantly make a React Native project in this?
You can. You can make an Express project.
Next.js.
Yep, all that. Meteor.js, Express, React Native, Angular CLI, an empty web project.
Yeah, that's really the focus of this IDE, I believe.
Is what?
Is to be able to make these web applications, really.
Yes, it's for making web apps, right? But that brings up a good point. Let's see if we can actually create a basic web app. Right? Not a huge web app, but let's just see if we can actually do it. Because the other day I wasn't able to do it. So let's see if we can actually do it since they may have updated this thing. File. New. Project. Okay. Let me try that again. So empty project, Angular CLI, AngularJS, Bootstrap, Cordova, Express, HTML5 boilerplate, Meteor, Node.js, React, React Native, Vue.js. Those are all the things that you can create with this. Right? So there's a lot of different things that you can create. So let's see if I can do a Express. Enter. This window. And it's busy. Zero value indicator. Alright, that's not very helpful. So, indexing dependencies. Uh-oh. That's fail. My Windows 365 got disconnected. Okay. Alright. Well, okay. I'm going to have to reconnect that. So there's like a code with me thing. There's add configuration, Untitled 6. It's generating Untitled 6. Alright, so it's generating all this stuff because the problem I had before was I can't actually see the files to actually get into them for these more complex web apps. So, it's still generating it. Alright, so I'll wait. But yeah, I think that's the focus of this, is to make complex web apps, right? I think that's where this really shines, you know, and that's probably why a lot of people are trying to switch to it. Oops. Look at that, guys. I was able to click on the project name, and I see all the files. So let's see. Roots, views, yep, this all seems like Express-like stuff. App.js, that's the main entry point. Package. Let's open up this app.js and see what we've got in here. Press enter, or here we go. It's busy. Okay. So var express, this seems like our Express boilerplate template that we usually have when we create Express web apps. Path, again, is another dependency. Cookie parser. I'm not sure what that is. Morgan. Aha, okay. So that's the index route, so that will point to our homepage. Interesting, so it already has some routes defined for us. So like our users route, our home route, interesting. Var app, that defines our app. And, whoops, hold on. That is our views directory, so that's where all of our templates, like our templates for our app will be stored. So it's using Pug. Okay, usually I use EJS, but Pug is a different templating engine, basically to display dynamic content on Express applications. And again, if all this sounds gibberish, it's not an Express tutorial. This is just literally showing how it's done in WebStore and kind of how we can do complex applications. App.useLogger. Okay. Index. So these are all the app.use, right? They're saying, hey, oh, that's cool. So it already has 404 error handling in this template. Wonderful. That's helpful because I don't want to have to try to catch 404 errors. That doesn't sound fun. I don't want to have to type that code out myself either. Render the error page. Okay. So this will export the app module. Alright, so you can kind of see how that works, right? We can go into all these files, but again, I'm not, we don't really need to do that. But what I actually want to do before I wrap this demo up is I want to go ahead and I want to run it. So let me go ahead and run it. So Command Option R. And WebStorm is currently busy. it's going to be busy for a little bit. Doing something here. We're just going to give it a second. Okay. So we have some errors, maybe? Hold on. Let's see. Yep. Wow. That is pretty slow and laggy, if you ask me. Wow. So I don't know what happened there, but that is a pretty slow and debugging process, if you ask me. I mean, because literally those controls like lag with voiceover. So that's a little bit slow. But let's see if we can't figure out why this isn't running. Run. Okay. And I'm going to try to run this. I'm going to go to the console and see how accessible that is. Oh. Yeah, so I'm not going to spend time trying to get this to finagle right now, but you can kind of see how this works, right? So I think that's going to conclude the demo. Is there any thoughts about what y'all thought about this? What'd you think about the whole, the express code that I give you? I mean, because it's a lot, right? It gives you a good starting point for complex applications, right? I think more than VS Code could give for that kind of complexity. But again, complexity comes with accessibility challenges. And so I want to hear your thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. But I want to hear everyone's thoughts. And I'm going to go back to the chat. I need to reconnect to my Windows 365. But what are y'all's thoughts? Anybody in the room have any thoughts?
Taylor, I've got one question. With this program, is like a lot of their IDEs, they are free and paid versions. Is this just a free one?
No, this is a 30-day free trial, and then it's paid. I believe. All right, so let me go ahead and reconnect. I just have to reconnect so I can get back to my chat. So, all right. So yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on this? Oh, okay. What do you want to, you have more questions about the boilerplate? Yeah, let's go ahead. If I don't have any more questions, let's go ahead and get into Q&A. So, we've got a question about the HTML boilerplate. Okay, hold on. I'm getting a bunch of questions in chat. All right. So, oh boy, and there's a whole bunch of sirens going by. All right. So, what other uses can the HTML boilerplate be used for? Well, you could use it, obviously, for creating your HTML pages, right? Because the HTML boilerplate is anything, that you want to create a website, right? Because with the HTML boilerplate, you have to be able to, create, the foundation of your website, right? You have to have some kind of boilerplate. Now, let me go into my VS Code, for example, and let me show you what that HTML boilerplate looks like, which means I'll have to share my screen again. But I just want to show you the comparison, right? Because this boilerplate gives a lot more information and other things. And so it's a lot more than usually what you get with an HTML boilerplate. Do trackers use the boilerplate too? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that exactly. I mean, the Google Analytics, right? The boilerplate is just for coding the website, right? The Google Analytics, if you set that up, you could use that to track the Google Analytics for that site. How can you combat it? Just don't put the Google Analytics stuff in there. Don't put that in your thing, right? You just delete that stuff that comes along with it. Okay. So, those are some of the questions that we have. Let me see if we have any more. I think there might be a problem that I gotta address real quick. I think, one of my friends is having some kind of emergency at the moment. So, hold on. Alright. Cool. Alright, yeah, one of my friends is just having a slight problem at the moment. Okay, so I will have to deal with that in a second. But, so yeah, hopefully that answers y'all's questions. Do we have any more from either the chat or our people in the meeting? And it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about the topic. It can just be about coding in general. So if you've always wanted to know something, or you're curious, or you're stuck on something, I wanna hear of it. So if you have any questions, feel free to say that. But I'm gonna quick wrap up this WebStorm thing. So, do I think WebStorm is accessible? Yeah, it's okay. Do I think that I will switch from VS Code? No, because VS Code is awesome. And it's not more accessible than VS Code, and you still have to pay for it yearly. Do I think it could be useful for creating complex web applications? Yeah. If they fixed a couple more bugs, yeah, I think it'd be a viable option for creating very complex web applications. So overall, download the 30-day free trial. Give it a shot, because they've really made more strides on making their stuff accessible. I remember a while back, I actually had to use a Java Access Bridge in order to access any of their IDEs. So I would say that this is a long ways from where it used to be. So those are kind of some of my thoughts. Anybody else have any other thoughts before we talk more questions? Okay. But yeah, any other questions? If not, yeah, like I said, we might end this early, depending. But yeah, if anybody has any coding questions in general, I want to hear them. Well, that's okay. Okay, you have to go. Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure, and I'm glad you were here, and feel free to stick around for more. But I don't think we have any other things to talk about, Michael. I think, do you have any other things to add? If not, anybody else in the room have any other things to add? Because, yeah, if we don't have any more questions, we may just go ahead and end this. I got to go deal with a emergency anyway, so that could work out pretty okay. But, yeah, yeah. So, do we have any other questions? But yeah, this has been a pretty cool meeting overall, so, yeah, so hopefully you guys got a lot out of it. WebStorm is accessible if you want to put the effort in, but for complicated web apps, I think it's more useful than small little projects. But, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that end. So, any final thoughts before we go ahead and wrap this up? Okay. Well, guys, this has been another Accessible Coders meeting. Look forward to the September one. Hopefully it'll be the right weekend this time. Again, sorry for the delay by 2 weeks. We've just had some crazy things come up. So, moving and whatnot. But if you guys want to, be a part of September's, we'll be scheduling that shortly. But I think we'll do it for today's meeting. So, without further ado, I will see you all next month.